Hey everybody, how's it going? So here we've got a MacBook, and according to the description from the customer, a baby sucked on the jack at the end of the power cord, and now it doesn't charge. And my shipping person left a note that said the baby must have sucked the juice out of the Mac. Okay, so first thing we're going to do here, before we get started, is say thank you very much to Mr. Paul Daniels. Look at what he did, so that I can have the power supply show up on the screen in Linux. His timeless work is right here. Right here. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So I have the power supply software and the multimeter software in every scene. A genuine thank you to Paul Daniels for everything he's contributed to this channel, these videos, and the repair industry as a whole. Now, what we're going to do over here is I'm going to open the bottom of this MacBook and see if I can make it work again. Need to get the right screwdriver. Open it up. Here it looks like we have an A1502 MacBook. I need to solder headers, but not sure where to start. I guess you start by soldering them. I really don't know how to answer those questions. I'm not trying to be a wise ass or anything. It's just I don't understand what it is you're looking for. So, I need to solder something, but I don't start. Do it. Just do it! Be like Shia LaBeouf. Just do it! Do it! That should be pretty obvious there. I'm not using the, I haven't messed with any of the VST stuff yet. I haven't gotten to that. Did figure out how to make some of my, a different program that I use that I don't need to use real time. It's an audio program that I use, how to make that work in Linux. So that was a little trial and tribulation, and I got that fixed. Got my wiki fixed today, so the wiki's not gonna get spammed as much as it did before, which I'm happy about. Alright, so the first thing you see here, was my crotch because of the poor camera angle. Now, the first thing that you should see is the MacBook that's on the desk. And, yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do, no offense to little baby that sucked on the MacBook, but, ew. No offense. Sure, it's a lovely baby. Sure, it's a beautiful, kind, loving baby. But, die, Corona, die. No baby. No baby. Okay. So I'm going to plug this in, and we're going to see how much power it takes. And you're not going to have to take my word for it anymore, because I know there's people that watch this stream that say, I'd like to learn from Lewis, but I don't trust him. When he says how many amps the system is taking, he's likely lying. Now, granted, is Paul Daniels much more trustworthy than me? Not really. Dare I say it, being the Australian mad lad he is, he may be less trustworthy than me. But that's all you get. I actually like the font. It's better than the font in Windows. Like, the font here from his software is actually better than what I was paying for, which is crazy. So as you can see, the machine does actually turn on. So this is kind of a boring one. However, you should be able to see why it is not turning on pretty simply, because of a JTAG connector. This is a JTAG connector, and it is completely corroded. So we're going to do what we typically do to those JTAG connectors, and just murder it. Murder it. So that's about that. So you can see over here. Oh, look at that. See this? That's a JTAG, and we're going to murder it. Now I'm going to take a look at the rest of the board. Absolutely going to take a look at the rest of the board. We're going to take it out of the machine, make sure there's nothing else that is liquid damaged on it, and go from there. Jim, I wish you the best of luck. I really do. You got more balls than I do, man. My grandpa wound up dying at the age of 59 because he was too scared to get a surgery. He didn't want to be opened up or cut open in any way, shape, or form. And the consequences of it, he was totally fine living, or I guess in his case, dying to avoid it. I'm the same way. I didn't even get my wisdom teeth removed. I remember the dentist saying if you don't have this done, you will be in intense pain that's unbearable, you know, a few months, max a year from now. That he said that. You're going to be in such intense pain, you're going to be demanding that we do it immediately. That was 15 years ago now. And there was, you know, one point in time where I actually was kind of in pain. So what I did is I did this. I remember sitting there doing that to try to make more room in my mouth for the wisdom teeth. It's like, I don't feel like getting cut open, man. You're not doing it to me. You're not doing it. I ain't getting cut open. Screw that. I'm a chicken shit. I am more afraid of getting a needle stuck in my arm, even the butterfly needle, than I am getting into a fight in a shitty neighborhood. I don't know what the way my brain is wired, but I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. I hate needles too. But yeah, everybody I know thinks I'm a giant sissy because I don't want to have any of this stuff done. That's why I try and watch my health, and I'm concerned with my health because I realize with my mentality, if I need something done, I'll probably be dead because I won't get it done. I gotta do everything I can. But I hope you the best of luck. What do you think of the COVID vaccine? I'm a very pro-vaccine person. I think that, you know, there's a lot of anti-vaccine people, and I think that they have not spend time, or they don't know people that live in countries where they don't really have a lot of distribution of vaccines, where they're still dealing with a lot of the shit that we defeated 60 or 70 years ago. I'm more than happy to take a vaccine. You know, all those vaccines that were developed 10, 20, 30, 50, 70 years ago, where there's been a lot of tests and all the kinks have been worked out and all that stuff. I am happy to take those vaccines. More than happy to. And I will give them to my children someday. But something that you develop, you know, in a couple of months because you have the entire world screaming at you, I'll take it after Eli. That's the thing. After Eli takes it, I'll take it. So as soon as Eli takes it, yeah, I'll just wait and see how it goes for him, and then I'll take it. Because that's the thing. Like, if you bring a repair to me, right, and we say 2 to 5 days, and you just let us do the repair in the 2 to 5 days, you'll probably get a good job. If you bring a repair to us and we say it's going to be a little bit more difficult than usual, you leave it off at 3 p.m. And then at 4 p.m. you call and you say, I want status, and I don't have any because it's still in the fucking slot because I'm working on something else, not your machine the moment it comes in. You call again at 6, then at 8, and you're testy. Then the next day I log into your ticket and I see 25 missed calls before we even open the store. And then at 12:01 you're calling again because I need this machine for work, I need this machine, I need this for work, I need this to be able to do my job, how dare you, I need a status update, I don't care what time you told me that you're trying to expedite it and you're not expediting, I want to speak to a manager. You're probably not going to get the best repair from us because we're going to do what we need to do to get you the fuck out of here. And it's probably not going to be a great job. This is the way it is at many repair shops. Like, if you have a customer like that, it goes typically one of two ways. Either A, you give them the device back because it's just, I'm not going to deal with you. Here it is. I don't want to deal with you as a customer. Or B, you get it done in the time frame they want it done, but are you ultrasonicking the board afterwards? Are you really giving it a good once-over for corrosion? Are you testing all the functionality, or are you just seeing fan spin and popping it right back in the case, you know? And here you kind of have something similar, which is, the world economy, all these people are going to die, the economy's going to die, our country's going to die! And on the other end, like what? They're just, you know, okay, yeah, sure, we're just going to go at the normal pace that we always go at. We're going to work at the pace that we always work at and just totally ignore all this. No, there's probably going to be some fucking crazy people screaming in their ear all the time. You got health agencies, government agencies, business leaders. All these people are fucking losing their mind. So I don't know if again, I'll take it after Eli takes it, you know. I'll take it after Eli takes it. It's just there's so much hedging on this vaccine that there is probably going to be a little, you know, it's probably going to be a little expedited. And when you expedite stuff to that extent, I'm more than happy to take it right after Eli does a stream after taking it. That's the way it is, you know. I believe in vaccines. Doesn't mean I have to be the fucking first person to take the vaccine. I'll see what it does to you first. Yeah, I believe in vaccines done well. Vaccine may also help lower housing market in Delaware. Ha! Housing prices are crazy everywhere. There is no COVID discount. It's nuts. The economy is in the absolute shitter. Total shitter. You know, all these people are losing their jobs. Left and right, people are losing their jobs. And companies are going under. And people are broke. Yet housing prices are just, you know, yeah, we'll just keep going up. There's no discounts here. I'm not seeing the COVID discount when I look at the home prices and the houses that sold. Hello, nice to see you. Happy again. Why, thank you. I wouldn't say that I'm happy today. I'm actually kind of aggravated today for a number of reasons I don't want to discuss on camera. I'm more aggravated today than I've been in a really long time, and it's weird. Because some of it I have a reason for, and the rest of it I really just, I don't know if I have a reason for. So. I remember going out with someone 8 years ago that said, you're probably going to be alone for a really long time because people can't tell what you feel from what you display on your face, and as a result of it, they're not going to feel comfortable around you. Wasn't the nicest thing for someone to say. Also probably wasn't judgment I should really take to heart, because she wound up dating someone that, like, she wound up going back to someone that repeatedly beat the crap out of her and just, like, allowed it to keep going for 4 years. Dark. Anyway, let's see. Okay, what do we have here? So the board itself seems really clean. The only problem with this board, really the only issue that I see whatsoever, is right there. So you know how this is going to go, right? I'm looking right now, and I think next year we might see the COVID discount when everything floods onto the market due to mortgage issues. That's the thing. I don't want to buy it next year. I want to buy it before the dollar becomes worthless. The dollar is quickly on its way to becoming worthless, so I need to put my money into something that's not going to decline. Like, I want to be the fuck out of the US dollar by next year. Alright, I'm going to go for a clean removal of the JTAG today. That's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like a clean removal. A clean write-off. No need to bulldoze. You know there's a program that allows you to use the Stream Deck under Linux. I haven't seen that. What I saw is some people release some code or whatever that allows you to make your own program in Linux that uses a Stream Deck, and I don't have the time to do that. And I haven't really done anything with the Stream Deck. I'm just using my function keys at the moment. The function keys really isn't that bad. It's not that awful. It's not that bad. There are worse things in life than having to use function keys instead of a Stream Deck. Even though there's no JTAG that's going to get soldered on here, I still kind of want to make it a little cleaner. It bothers me that that pad is corroded, even though that pad is for something that doesn't exist, that doesn't get used. It's triggering. I can't stand seeing that there. Aaron, I don't know. I think that what happened is, yeah. It's almost like I stole this out of Nell's queue without him knowing. Well then. Migraines suck. I hope you feel better, man. I can't stand migraines. Well, that is that's that. Board fixed. Lewis 1, baby 0. Baby failed. Baby failed. I noticed that sunny days. The thing is, I can't tell if New York real estate is going up or if the dollar is just going down. That's the thing. The same question with Bitcoin. Are you looking at Bitcoin going up or are you just watching the dollar go down? There is a chort on the pads. What's a chort? What's a chort? That would have come off in the ultrasonic. A chort. A torta. Join Twitch chess community. Meh. Alright, well that's a board right there. Next. The Stream Deck program for Linux can be found on GitHub under Stream Deck UI. I honestly don't know if I feel like configuring more Linux stuff at the moment. I've kind of run out of my I've used up I've kind of used up my tolerance at the moment for getting stuff to work that used to work, and I don't really, like, I've noticed without the Stream Deck that I don't really, it's not something that's really 100% necessary for me right now. I'm really fine using my function keys. My function keys don't bother me. I don't mind using, I used to use my function keys and the scroll lock and pause key. Let's make sure this computer will charge with his battery. That's something that I should make sure of before putting it through the rest of the standardized testing process. Put on Paul Daniels' amazing software. Paul Daniels. Yeah, Paul Daniels wants the exchange rate to change. Oh well. All right, let's see how much amperage this takes. Was I complimenting Paul's software? You see, this is the crazy thing about NVIDIA drivers. So if I put the PDF reader over his thing, it actually does that crazy blinking distortion thing. NVIDIA drivers in Linux are really a horror show, a complete and utter horror show. They're just inexcusably bad. You could use AMD, but AMD doesn't work as well in DaVinci Resolve. So one way or the other. No, Pedro, sorry. You don't get a volume boost. Nope. I can't use VST limiter plugins in Linux on OBS. So I can't put my plugin that I usually use here. So no dice for you. Because if I yell, it'll distort. Here. Maybe, you know what, I won't, I'll make the streamed version louder, but the recorded version is going to be messed up. Let's see. Compressor. Test 1 2 test 1 2 test. Let's see. Test. No. This is so crazy that you actually can't see gain reduction. I think that's insane. That is absolutely insane. Like the OBS compressor that the program comes with, it does not allow you to see gain reduction at all. Like you're just not, I've never seen a compressor that doesn't show you gain reduction. Even in the 70s, they had a fucking VU meter for gain reduction. It's nuts. All right, so test. Yell at you all. Oh, there you go. Let's see if that works. I don't know. I can't tell what the fuck this compressor is doing. All right. Okay. Hello. All right. So this clearly is able to charge a battery. It's taken 2 amps and yeah. This takes 2 amps. Really not much more for me to do here. Let's see. How does this limiter work? Test one, test one, test one, test one, test. Oh. Hello. Ah. Test one. Hello. All right. Anyway. I hate these battery connectors that they use. They're so annoying. This is what it encourages you to do is it encourages you to use a piece of metal to get this up, or your screwdriver, which then typically results in people shorting the battery power line to SMC data line. I can use metal though because I'm not a noob. But still. Okay, we just put all this stuff together. Yeah. Motherflower. I would ultrasonic this because you never know how fucked it is. It could be something sitting underneath a chip somewhere. Be right back. Alrighty. Time to get another computer. i17. Actually, What do you think about the guy Hector Martin porting Linux to MacBook M1s? If you want to use a MacBook with Linux, then you'll have the option to. One thing that you really do get with Macs is you get a decent screen in a laptop. I was going over this with my friend the other day who wanted to do a live stream about it, and she brings up a point that with PC laptops, if you want a screen that is the same quality with the same general specs as you get in a lot of the MacBooks, it's almost impossible. Most of the PC vendors are absolutely shameless in giving you garbage technology when it comes to your screen. Like I remember back when it was considered okay to sell a $1,500 computer with a 1366 by 768 TN panel. Even in 2017, you had lots of computers approaching $2,000 with a 1366 by 768 screen. It's fairly awful. The screen is one of the reasons that you have people still buying MacBooks for their work, because they need the quality of the screen, and you don't. And the PC manufacturers are really dropping the ball there, and they're leaving money and sales on the table by not addressing that segment of the market. Microsoft is starting to, but again, that gives you you get a Surface or a MacBook that's not really a great set of choices. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started on another computer. This is a computer that the customer says it's not turning on, no power, just totally dead. It was working absolutely fine the day before, no water damage, and it's not dropped. Oh, wait a second. Recording failed? Grr. Again. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be working on an A1706 Touch Bar MacBook Pro. The customer says its laptop's not turning on, no power, just completely dead. Was working fine the day before, no water damage. Well, we'll be the judge of that now, won't we? So let's open this thing up and see if this customer is telling the truth. So I will open this up and see what it looks like on the inside. And then I'll show you. And then maybe you can help me fix it. You damn good-for-nothing viewers. How many MacBooks have you fixed for me? I have to take all the screws out. I have to do all the soldering. I have to do all the troubleshooting. When are the viewers going to start paying their fair share? The viewers don't pay their fair share. They don't. How many screws have you turned on these MacBooks, viewers? Shame. Runs a business with like 10 people working for him and doesn't own a car. How does that make me poor? Oh my God. My friend has a car, and I can beat him to work on a regular basis. I could beat him to work without even trying. My friend, again, Dr. Evil Genius, I shit you not, I was able to beat him to work by about 19 seconds, and we live in the same area. I was able to beat him by about 19 seconds, and that was when I had an issue with my cassette where it wasn't aligned right, so I couldn't use max torque. So I was limited in the amount of torque that I could use on the bike, which is already a 1,000 to 3,000 watt device compared to a fucking car. And I was still able to beat him. No, it's not poor Lewis for not having a car. It's poor the rest of these fucks that are stuck waiting in traffic all day. Hell, having a car is a freaking nightmare. It's awful. It's I don't know. I would probably lose my mind waiting in New York traffic every single day. I would genuinely lose my shit. Because when I pass these people and I see, I get to the front of the line and I see that there's someone like drunkenly falling asleep at the wheel or having an argument with someone, or who just doesn't notice that the light has changed and they have their headphones on so they can't even hear the people honking at them. Like, I am not stuck. The people that are in cars because they need to ride around in a 3,000-pound tank. See, transporting a 100-pound person should not require a 3,000-pound tank. Like, it's a waste of energy. And it's also kind of a waste of space. It's like there are times when that's needed, and by all means, sure. But most of the trips that people make in New York, they don't require that you be transported in a 3,000-pound tank. It's inefficient, and it's not even inefficient from the save the climate, planet, all that shit. That's one way to look at it. It's just fundamentally inefficient in that if there is something blocking me ahead, I wish to be able to do this. But if you're driving in something that's this wide and you have something in front of you, you can't really do that, and I can. And I can see how pissed off and aggravated all the drivers are. And I'm just laughing at them as I'm like, yep, Yeah, I don't care that it's rush hour traffic. I'm getting to work in 20 minutes. I don't care. I could be leaving the store at 4:45 before COVID, and when I lived in the old store where I was closer, I could get home in 11, 12 minutes. Now it takes me about 20 because I'm a little further away. But still, you get the idea. Poor these fucks that have to deal with cars. It's horrible. I think there's going to be a big cultural backlash against that. Like anybody that wants to speak about different modern forms of transportation, and like almost everything now is political and culture war shit and all that crap. But I don't try to get at people from the climate. How dare you? Because even if they make cogent arguments, it just gets people pissed off. I just try to say, listen, man, I get to work. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm paying a lot less money than you, and I'm sitting in a lot less traffic. So you want to sit in traffic for 45 minutes, you be my guest. I'm going to get to work in 15 minutes, no matter what's on the road. So that's really where I make my sales pitch. Same thing with veganism. I'm not going to go up to someone and say, "How dare you kill them, those animals?" What I do is I just say, "This is the best burrito in the world with the best sauce in the world. Try this out. By the way, it's vegetarian." That's the kind of the way you convince people, not by shaming them and beating them. It's just, this is a different way of doing things. And by the way, I save about 5 hours a week and not waiting in traffic. What do you think? It's like, oh, maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll try that. Use the electric bike in the winter? Absolutely I do. 100% I use it every winter. I don't care. It's 17 degrees outside. I'll go. Doesn't change anything for me. I just removed a screw I didn't need to remove. Hiss. I have to remove that on the 15-inch, not the 13-inch. How do you deal with winter on a bike in New York? I don't know. How do you deal with car in winter in New York? Turn throttle, bike go vroom. Would use an electric heated jacket? Hell no. My bike goes on fire, I jump off of it. If my heated jacket goes on fire, I what? I die. I burn. No, thank you. All right, let's take a look in the. I won't mind sitting in traffic as long as I sit in comfort. I'm patient that way. That is where Dr. Evil Genius and I differ greatly. I eat my food fast. I fix my boards fast. I drive fast. I don't like sitting and waiting. It drives me nuts. Even if I'm going home to sit down again, I want to go home and sit down. I don't want to be sitting in traffic sitting down. It's incredibly aggravating. Dr. Evil Genius said that. He says you lived closer to our shared destination. Yes, that is correct. However, I did see your car on the road. Granted, I may have went through one red light on 19th Street and Broadway, but that light is cheating. That light's bullshit. It always turns. Even though the 5th and 6th Avenue, the moment they turn green, the one on Broadway turns red. It's a scam. But I still think I would have won anyway. But again, I had an issue with torque in my motor. It's only cheating if you get caught. That's another great thing about the bike in New York City. No red light camera. So it's 2 in the morning. I look to my left. I look to my right. There's nobody there. I like listening to traffic laws. I like obeying traffic laws. That makes sense. It's 2 a.m. Nobody here. Nobody here. I'm going to go now. Allows you to get around the rigged system the rigged system traffic lighting in New York. I still obey way more traffic laws than the average biker, so I don't feel too terrible about it. Okay, so here we have 5 volts, 13 milliamps. This is your standard PP3B3_G3 hot missing or CD3215 failure. In this case, I really hope it's not a CD3215 failure because my CD3215s are underfilled. I'll show you how that looks into the microscope once I'm done getting the board out of the casing. Working on the underfilled ones really sucks. I talk fast. That too. I do talk fast. I eat fast, I fix fast, I talk fast. I flux fast. I've never been to LA, of course, and honestly, from everything that I've read, seen, and heard, I probably don't want to go. It just it seems like a lot of areas of California are just kind of, it's the sister of New York. So it's there are certain things where it sounds like it's mildly different in some ways, but a lot of the crappy things are still the same. It's just a different version of the same shittiness. It's like, the two different revisions of Windows Vista. It's still Vista. I visited San Diego before, a few times, and Guatai Mountain. Instead of hating on Cuomo, you could hate on Newsom. He does give he seems like he gives his people as many reasons to hate him as Cuomo does. Although they do vote for him, so they must like him, or they wouldn't have voted for him. Then again, not a large percentage of people vote. Most people don't are too what's the word? Most people are too cynical to want to vote, and I don't blame them. I've kind of had enough of living someplace that constantly reminds you that you're poor. If I left New York, it's not going to be for California. That's the thing. I'm not poor. It's just by New York standards, almost everybody is poor here. So, for instance, let's say that you have let's just go over something simple here. So, let's say that you have $1 million to purchase a home. You may think, wow, $1 million. $1 million is a lot of money. Oh, if I had $1 million, I'd be set for life. That's great. Like, New York has managed to invalidate the feeling of having $1 million. Yeah, I'll show you one of them. Let's open this. Let's see, where is, I'm sure I could find an example really quickly. Let's see what I got here. Make sure I don't have anything open I'm not supposed to. Fuck. Wrong window. Capture the right Firefox, not the wrong Firefox. Okay, so let's say take some shit like this, right? Alright, get that out of here. This is almost $1 million. Look at this. Yeah, that's some like tiny little cracked up driveway, like this room, like tiny dining room, tiny kitchen, tiny shitty old bedroom, and it's like that's $1 million. That's okay, 928,000. Once you're done with the closing fees and all that other crap and blah blah blah, it's like $1 million. In New York City, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you'll always be poor. And the funny thing is that one of the things that I've noticed is if you look at the housing prices, if you make $100,000 a year and you want to buy one of those, you're almost still out of luck, because each year it seems like the housing price goes up on many of these homes by about, like, it appreciates at a rate of something like $40,000 to $80,000 a year. So if you look at a lot of houses that sold in 2016, and then what they're asking and selling for now, even if you made $100,000 4 years straight, you still really didn't make much, because it costs that much more to buy a home after 4 years. So I wouldn't go from New York to California, because California seems to be the same old shit. Okay. Sonny says I paid $50,000 for a garage. Like, again, you see what I'm getting at here? Sonny's making my point. Like, Sonny paid $50,000 for a garage. For a fucking garage. And for some reason it has a chalkboard with my logo on it inside. I don't know if he has like a voodoo doll that he stabs every now and then. Wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, let's see. Alright, so on this one, so who fried the pizza best this time? So this is there's a common place on all this board that always winds up getting liquid on it. And in this one, I don't see liquid there, I see dust. So I'm going to that first. That typically takes away pp3v3 underscore g3 hot. So before I even take my multimeter out, I want to see if this cap under here is shorted. It always is, every single time. This is in the wiki. This is a very common one that you should all be familiar with by now, because you are going to see it every day. And as you can see, it is hiding under there exactly as expected. So pp3v3 underscore g3 hot is a required power rail, because that power rail powers the USB-C MUX chip, which is what you see over here, the CD3215, this chip. And that chip needs its pp3v3 G3 hot power rail to work. Now, if this cap shorts the ground, then it's going to stop everything from working, because you're not going to have a charger working. And that cap always dies. I don't know why the water always goes there, even if it doesn't go anywhere else in the machine. But it is a very, very common issue, and you should know to look for this. Your staff should know to look for this. This should be a very common one. So I'm just going to bend the shield back a little bit, like so, because I don't feel like, I don't want to solder without being able to see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to bend the shield. I'm probably triggering somebody right now really hard because I'm bending that shield, but oh well, what are you going to do? Yes, I'm cutting into your little precious MacBook. Deal with it. Now this is a particularly difficult area to work in, because I can't really use hot air, because remember, you have to remember that there is an underfilled chip right over there. And if I use hot air over here to remove this, or to solder a new one in, I'm likely going to wind up screwing up the CD3215 and having to reball it or replace it, which means removing all the underfill. And that's something that we want to avoid doing, because that's a nightmare. That's not fun. Again, it's doable. You should have the skill to do it, but just because you have the skill to do something doesn't mean you should actually, seek to do it. You want to try to avoid it, doing those things. So I'm going to clear out some of this. Some of that is dirt, some of that is underfill. I'm just going to clear that out so that I have space to solder in. Remember, solder with 2 Ds. There's no L in solder. Don't listen to British and Australian people. They're lying to you. They're lying to you about everything. Yeah, this is pretty nasty. But this is the inside of your standard MacBook. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. Okay. It's kind of hard to tell. Is this was the moisture inside of the dust, or did water actually get in here, or was it just moist dust that got in there? Either way, that's pretty disgusting. Now, it's going to be fairly difficult to find a way to get in there. Some flux. Because nothing is actually going to want to fit in there. I could get in there if I remove that capacitor a lot easier. Because my iron will touch the pad, but it's going to touch it barely. It's barely going to touch the pad, so I'm not really going to get a lot of heat transfer there. Now I'm going to take another capacitor from another board. That still has its capacitor. And we're going to put it right over there. I might use a little bit of hot air to get in there. I don't have the angle to be able to get in there with my hot tweezers. Someone says, I wish I had a soldering kit like Lewis has. The solder kit's rock. It's just it's a basic micro pencil iron. There should be a link in the description down below. And my hot air station is the Atten 862 that I use. Actually, this is the Quick 861. The other guys use the Atten 862, or I use the Atten 862 at the other desk when I am showing a new employee something. You can find all that stuff at store.rossmanngroup.com, the hot air station. Alright, so now I got to figure out how to get this damn cap in there. That's not going to want to fit. Are you the right one? I believe I may be getting trolled. Yeah, I got the wrong one. That's too big. Alright. You know what? I may cheat and use hot air here. I might just cheat and use some hot air. But I'm going to lower the temperature, and I'm going to cover my CD3215 with a piece of metal. I'm also going to cover my NAND chip over there with a piece of metal. This will work as kind of a heat sink. Ask Dan at rossmanngroup.com, the backwoods engineer. Not sure. It may be that we're out of stock of the scratch and dents, which is a good thing. I don't want to have a bunch of damaged stuff, but alright, now we're going to cool this off really quickly. Utilizing rapid cool technology, I just touched myself with one of the tweezers I was using as a heatsink. My god, that burns. Ow. Owie test. Ow. 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 That's some hot tweezers right there. That's what we call hot tweezers. You know, I shouldn't have given you Dan's email. That was the wrong one to give. I should have given Cam's personal email account. That would have been funny. Alright, let's see if we have any difference now. See if this works. We have to get Cam back. I wasn't even trying to give myself an owie test there, and I got myself an owie test. Ow. Ow. So I turned my hot air station from 500 degrees down to 300 degrees. And since the solder on all the chips in the motherboard is lead-free, and my solder was leaded, that ensures that as long as I timed it right, and I didn't put too much extra time there, that it was going to melt my joint into place, my component into place, before it actually melted anything underneath the chip itself, which is a good thing. Now again, if you leave it there too long, then you will melt the balls underneath the underfilled chip and have to take the chip off and reball it, which is a nightmare, and you don't want to do that. So which is why I'm not like staying there for a long time. As the moment I see that I have even the tiniest bit of zinc, the moment I see zip, that's it. I'm not staying there and like waiting for the component to move back and forth like I would with a BGA. That's not important to me. What's important to me there is not the 100% perfect placement of it. The moment it's in place and it's moved, I'm good. I don't need to sit there and wait for it to settle. What I want is to get that capacitor in place without heating the stuff under it or above it. So I have my little tweezer in place as a heatsink. At the end, because I needed to get the iron a little bit closer, I moved that away, and when I pointed the hot air at this way, I removed the tweezer over here so I could get it in there, and I did it really quickly. It settled in place, and it was good. So now we're going to see if we have any change in behavior. We're looking for 20 volts here. 20 volts. Give me 20 volts. Give me 20 volts! 800 milliamps. Beautiful. Wait. I moved my charger around too much. Stop that. Stop it. All right. Let's plug you in again. Also, let's clean some of the junk off of the charge port there. No, Gorithig. No, 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 no. 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 Did I say no? Because I meant no. No. I can't see it because I plugged it in the wrong way. Okay. See it again. All right, 20 volts, 700 milliamps. Now what I'm curious to see is if it boots. I'd like to see it boot. The way I would see it boot is I have to move it so that I can show the screen on the camera, but I got to do that without unplugging anything. As you can see, it sees the operating system and is booting into the operating system. This is important because remember what I was heating, that area that I was heating is right above the NAND chip, which is the chip that contains your data for the solid state drive. So if I had done anything, if I had overheated anything over there, what you would have seen is a question mark folder because the data, as in the operating system, would not be there. And that is clearly not the case because it is now booting up, which is great. It's lovely. It's booting. It's going to boot a little slow because I don't have the battery or the trackpad or any of the sensors plugged in. So it's gonna clock itself down, but it is booting, which means that we did our job. So let me show you on Flex Board View what that cap was for. And just keep this in mind, because that's an area that people often neglect to check, because it's hidden underneath that shield. And since it's hidden underneath that shield, you know, it's one of those things where it's out of sight, out of mind. And if it's out of sight, it's not just out of sight and out of mind, it's also out of wallet, because if you don't find it, you're never going to fix it. You need to find it and see it in order to fix it. So I'm going to load this up on the schematic and the board view on the screen, and let's get this done. So let's get Paul Daniels' software to show up. Here we go. That's not showing up the way I would expect it to, but it's not the way it showed up last time. Paul Daniels. Oh, wait a second. Here we go. That's my fault. My bad. I always yell at Paul when I fuck something up. It's not fair. There we go. All right. Can I blame Paul Daniels for NVIDIA's shitty drivers? If I have my chat window over the schematic, it does that. If I minimize my chat window, it doesn't do that. This is an RTX 2080 graphics card. It's 2020. NVIDIA, get your shit together. Holy crap. Like, it was cute back in 2002 when my GeForce 440 MX Go and my Dell Inspiron 8200 didn't work perfectly in Linux. Fine. It was 2002. Then, like, you know, in 2011 and 12 and 13 and 14, when it didn't work with NVIDIA cards, okay, fine. Linux is... It's 2020. Like, NVIDIA, come on, just get it together. Just make a fucking driver that works. This is a $900 graphics card. Surely you've made enough money that you could put together a Linux driver that doesn't suck. Anyway, back to this. So let's go over the cap that we replaced. So we go over here and hit the PDF button in Paul Daniels' software. And as you can see, CB300 is a cap to ground on PP3v3_G3 hot. PP3v3_G3 hot is going to go here, voltage in of the CD3215. CD3215 is, as it says over here, a USB-C port controller. This chip is going to communicate with the charger and ask for 20 volts rather than 5 volts. Remember, a USB-C charger can put out 5 volts for a phone, it could put out 9 volts for fast charging a phone, or it could put out 20 volts for charging a laptop. And it needs to negotiate the proper amount of power. And if this chip doesn't come on, it's not going to do that. And for this chip to come on, it does need its power. Now, you could see over here, if I check out USB CCA 1 and 2, you can see where it actually speaks to the charge port directly. So this is, whoa. Oh, you're not showing this board view, are you? Paul Daniels? No, me. Okay, so you didn't see me hit the PDF button. Anyway, so I hit the PDF button here to show the capacitor. This is a different board view was showing. I blame Paul Daniels for my mistake. He's probably used to that by now. I'm sorry, Paul. Sorry, Paul. You're a nice guy. Anyway, so I move over here, and this is the CD3215. This is the USB-C MUX. You can see that it goes directly to where the charge port plugs into the computer. That is over here. Also, you could see that it finally finished booting, which means that the NAND is not damaged. So this is the charge port itself. And the CD3215 is going to communicate with the charger and ask for its full 20 volts, but it needs to be powered to do that, and PP3v3G3 hot is the power rail that it needs, and that was shorted to ground because this cap over here got corroded. This is a very, very common corrode cap, and again, I keep doing videos on this to hammer it home because there's a lot of people that miss that little area, and missing that little area is going to cost your customer, a lot of money. It's going to cost you a lot of money and miss revenue, and it's right there. So make sure that you check that area if you have a PP3v3_G3 hot short. It may even be difficult to see on a thermal camera because you have that overarching, that metal shield that is right by the NAND, which is right under the cap, and typically the metal shields trick the thermal camera, and it becomes bad. So that's about it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. By the way, the wiki is now been upgraded. It features 3 anti-spam plugins that I recently installed so that my site is not going to be filled with a bunch of fucking steroid, drug, hooker, gambling documents anymore. I am continuing to add to this wiki here. I'm going to continue putting work into it, and I hope that, that you all are open to continuing to help me with my journey here. Let me just try and... don't show me this crap. Wrong. Here we go. So willing to put some effort and help me in here. So as you can see, you can just click troubleshooting guides. I have a visual inspection guide. If, let's say, you're having a problem with this particular model computer, you can just go here. You can click that model computer, and it gives you a detailed list of all the things that can go wrong. It'll even tell you, you know, if, let's say, charger is stuck at 5 volts instead of 20 volts, it will tell you corroded LDO cap for this. You know, I'm actually going to update that right now to say CB300. I believe it does say CB300 over here. Yeah, PB3B3 shorted to ground, CB300 corroded, but you can't see it. Look closely. I'm putting all of my solutions here. So all the stuff that is already in my head, or my staff's head, I don't want it to just remain there. I want it to be available for as many people to see as humanly possible, so that more people can get involved in the repair industry, more people can save Apple customers money, and you know, more people can kind of take part in this hobby that I kind of enjoy again. So that's it for today, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye now. And cut. All right. Stop freaking out, Luna. Jesus. Let's see. I think it's Rossmann New Media Inc. at rossmanngroup.com. That's... Oh, you don't have to give me money, man. No, that's fix stuff, chillax, breathe in, breathe out. It'll be fine. You know what you could do that's more betterer than giving me money? Fix something. Or add to the wiki. Add to the wiki. That'll make me a happy boy. Add to the wiki. Take stuff that's in my videos that's not yet in the wiki and put it in that wiki, so that some other people can learn how to fix stuff and be good at it. Thank you, Luna. I appreciate the sentiment. Someone says we need to make a Mr. Clinton wiki. What would you have in the Mr. Clinton wiki? With that, I will leave you all for later. See you in the next video. Bye now. Paul Daniels, it worked. Oh, Paul, here's the thing. I got to hold you responsible and accountable for NVIDIA drivers. I don't know what bullshit that you've been doing with these NVIDIA drivers in Linux, but they suck. They suck. They're inexcusably bad. And I can't let you off the hook for that. I can't let you off the hook for that. Anyway, see you in the next